let's talk about good games. Seemingly good games coming out here. Unicorn Overlord here. 88 came out. This came out yesterday.
Yep.
I saw some people in my circle, other circles, kind of interested in this game. Game obviously is getting good reviews coming in, and 88 obviously is fantastic. So
Yeah, not too many reviews, only 23, but that's not unexpected.
I was about to say that's about what I expected. I did not expect all the critics to review.
I was surprised that IGN's review came out on the day of the embargo, which really surprised me. I thought they might review it, but I didn't think it would come out the first day. Like, because usually the big sites don't really care about games like this. They either don't review it or they'll review it like down the line.
They'll review it down the road.
Like yeah.
But yeah, this one reviewed quite well. 88 is quite excellent. And puts it definitely in the top ones of this year so far. It's not very far into the year, granted, but so yeah, good stuff. You mentioned kind of you played the demo of this before, and
yeah, I played the demo. Demo's fun. It's worth checking out.
Yep. Worth noting, Series X and S, PlayStation, Switch. So
yeah, no PC.
No PC.
All consoles, no PC.
Which is fine.
And they said, I'm pretty sure I saw a thing that said it will not come to PC. They have some sort of deal or something that makes it a console like no PC. I don't know.
Okay.
They said it's not coming. They said it's not coming to PC.
They put it out for every other console but PC.
I don't really understand why, but they said it's not coming out for PC.
Fair enough. Fine. What it is? Yeah, it is what it is. I mean, 88's really good.
I don't think any of Vanillaware games have come out for PC, if I think about it. Muramasa, Dragon's Crown, 13 Sentinels, this, Odin Sphere, I think they're all console. Most of them are PlayStation exclusive, but they're all console exclusives. They are only on console for one way or another.
I don't know.
Like,
maybe they just don't want to do any PC ports. Who knows? Anyway, I don't have anything to really say. I mean, I know there's been some of the people that I know that were like fans of Fire Emblem, for example, were interested in this. They're like, "Oh, this looks interesting. I'm gonna try it." That's mostly what I've seen. Is there's been interest, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how much interest actually is garnered from this. I mean, it's reviewing well, so
it's reviewing well. There's a small like YouTube and Reddit community around this game. People seem to be really enjoying it. So far, people really loved the demo, and that seems to have carried over into the main game. I haven't looked at too much on it because obviously I haven't played it yet. I kind of got scamazoned. I was supposed to, the game came out yesterday. I haven't gotten it yet. It's supposed to come on Monday, so we'll see.
Scamazon.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do that.
But I'm still playing Final Fantasy.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, you're
probably not even halfway through Final Fantasy still at this point, so
Yeah, I was about to say, you got Final Fantasy on the mind at this point.
But I do want to play Unicorn. It looks really good. I mean, so the reviews, the general summary of the reviews I'll give you is that the gameplay is incredible, basically. Really good. It's a different kind of tactics because it's all about like team setup, and there's this like you can basically set the conditions for how each of your units like acts in combat. With each of their like skills and stuff like that. So like what kind of enemies they target, the priority in which you rank the skills, like how often they activate them. And so there's a lot of strategizing you can do with that. But the battles are, once you are in a combat, you have no control over it. It just plays out.
It's auto battles.
Yeah. But the game does show you before a battle happens. It's not even like Fire Emblem where it's like, oh, it's like this percentage chance to hit, like blah blah blah. It tells you exactly the outcome of the battle, like how much damage you'll take and how much damage the enemy will take.
Okay.
So and you can also adjust you're allowed to adjust your tactics before the battle.
Yep.
So however, you cannot retreat from a battle. So if your unit encounters an enemy unit on the map, you cannot retreat. You have to fight that battle.
Yeah.
If you have another unit nearby, you're allowed to like swap which unit engages in the combat, but you have to fight the combat. You cannot retreat. You cannot retreat from combat once you've encountered another unit, an enemy unit on the
Got
map.
it. Yep.
So, but generally, the reviews have said that the combat is really good. They really like the tactical depth. The maps are interesting. There's lots of characters to use. There's lots of different classes, and just the game is just really fun to play, basically. And doesn't I saw like the one bad review it got, gave it a 6, and they said that it got boring really quickly for them. But that was the only review that said that. So.
Yep.
The one like big negative that I think is basically kept this game from getting any 10s is everyone said the story is like not bad, but it's just like really tropey and generic, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Though they did say that they like the cast of characters, and the characters are interesting, and some of the rapport conversations, which are support conversations basically from Fire Emblem, are good, though others are pretty filler. So
Yeah,
it's kind of
sure.
too like, there's just a lot of them, right? So they're not all gonna be gems,
Right.
because there's like over 60 unique characters in this game that you can like recruit. And then you can also just hire like generics of like any class if you want,
Mm-hmm.
to bolster your army like with certain classes or whatever.
Sure.
So yeah, they said the characters are really good, and there's like, some moments here and there that are good in the story and interesting, but in general the story is just kind of generic strategy RPG fare. And I think we talked about this, but the start of the story is literally page 1 of SRPG 101, writing an SRPG story 101.
Mm-hmm.
It's evil empire attacks your kingdom, the good guy's kingdom, and
Yep.
overthrows, and you are the prince of the kingdom, who is a child at that time and is taken to a far off land to grow up and train, and then raise a revolution army and come back and defeat the evil empire.
Okay.
That's literally like Fire Emblem 1's story, like,
It's
or
a
the
very,
beginning of it at least.
it's a pretty basic motivator story.
There are
Pretty
many
basic.
strategy RPGs that start similarly, and again, that's just kind of like SRPG 101 storytelling.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that's kind of the one like big. A lot of them didn't really state it as a big negative, because the production value is good, the game is pretty, the voice acting's good, and the story isn't like bad or tropey or cringe like engages like, but it's just generic. It's just generic.
Yep.
For a strategy RPG. So.
Yep.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to playing this. Generally, I mean, a game like this getting an 88 is pretty impressive to me, to be honest, because usually games like this, I mean, if they're good, they'll meta in like the mid to low 80s. So.
Yep.
I don't know. I'm looking forward to it. I'll play it. Well, I don't know if I'll start it before I finish Final Fantasy. I may just finish Final Fantasy first before I even start this game. But
Yep.
Again, for people who are interested, we talked about it last week. There is a demo available on, I think, all platforms: Switch, PlayStation, and Xbox. So you can try out the demo and check out the game. So if you're interested in it.
Gotcha. Okay. Cool. I don't have anything to add. I'm just like, I don't have anything specifically to add for it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. So now we have the Xbox partner preview.
Yep.
So I mentioned it to you obviously before I started, but I watched about 10 minutes of this, and I think what I ended up kind of landing on is I don't think most of this is going to be for me. I kind of skimmed through the rest, and I did see things like, okay, for example, it said Final Fantasy 14, sorry, 14.
The
14,
MMO.
the 14 is getting a release on Xbox later this month. So I saw some of those things. Let me see if I can just... Was there anything in here in particular you remember that stood out for you? Because for me, I don't know. Like, I think there is some stuff for other people that looked interesting. Like, this Awakening was... I mean, I could see it being interesting.
I mean, there's a bunch of stuff that looked like okay, but nothing that I was particularly interested in.
Yeah.
We got the release date for Frostpunk 2. I haven't played Frostpunk 1, but it's like a city builder strategy game that I think was pretty popular. I think it was June or something like that for that one.
Yep.
I mean, there's a lot of kind of cool, pretty looking indie games here, but there just wasn't anything that I was particularly interested in myself.
Yep. I mean, there was like...
Yeah,
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just kind of with you on this. I did watch the whole thing, but there's almost nothing that I specifically remember being interested in.
Right.
This, unfortunately.
I could see some stuff like, for example, this. I see a potentially interested player. It being something like, okay, you got a bunch of animals, like you're hanging out with a bunch of animals, you know, and then you've got like other games, like there was a Roblox thing in there. Yeah, I just was like, okay. A lot of this for me, I went through and I'm like, okay, like I can see some people being interested in this. Like obviously Final Fantasy is going to be interesting. Final Fantasy 14 on Xbox will be interesting. Then there was a Stalker
like remaster or something like that. So.
Persona had like a block in here.
Oh, okay. So let me mention this real quick.
Yep.
So we talked about the Atlas tax at one point.
Yes.
And this is like Atlas tax to the max because... And this kind of upsets me, to be honest, and I don't even know if I'll buy and play this, even though I really liked Persona 3.
Yep.
Like, this... When you make a, like, remake, quote-unquote, definitive edition of a game...
Yeah.
And you don't release it with all the content that the game had before, it kind of... It's pretty shitty, in my opinion. Like, look, I know they want to make more money. They want to do this freaking expansion pass. They're adding music to it, you know, and then like whatever. But yeah, again, the answer was like that's not something new. That was like an expansion that they had made for the game previously and that they had released in. Again, there was Persona 3, there's Persona 3 Portable, and Persona 3 FES.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember which one the answer came in. I didn't play any of them, so forgive my ignorance on that. But either way, that expansion to the game existed before.
Yep.
And they released a definitive edition of the game called Reload and didn't put that in the game. And they just split it up as a DLC. And I know it's not coming out till September, so that to me it means that maybe it wouldn't have been done in time for the main game and they're still working on it. I would hope that's at least the case.
I would think that's the case. Otherwise, that would be... Yeah, it'd be weird if it wasn't.
But even still, I don't know. To me, when you're releasing a definitive edition, a remake definitive edition of a game, you should really include all the content that was already there before.
That would be nice.
And not split it up into a frickin'... And I don't think I've seen the price on this yet, but I would be surprised if it was less than $30. I'm gonna assume it's gonna be like $40 for the expansion pass, but I don't know.
I would guess 40. I would guess 30 or 40. I mean, which this one's weird to me. I just want to say this is weird to me when I visually look at it. The first wave is music. Okay, that's just what I'm seeing. Music. The second wave is costumes and more music. BGM set is more music.
Yep.
So you have music, costume music, March and May and then June, July, August, and then so 4 months later, you're getting what I would imagine is actually the extra content. So it's like something weird to me about seeing like in expansion passes are like, oh yeah, the first wave is music. I don't know. There's something weird looking at it for me, from my perspective. I'm like, okay, so it's music, costumes, which you're already showing me here. Like, I can see the costumes, so it's not like you have to wait. Like, I can see them. These are the costumes. So why are you waiting?
Watch them make it so that like you can't buy the answer by itself, and you have to buy the.
You have to buy the expansion pass. That it feels like. It feels odd. I won't say it's like necessarily bad. I'm not gonna say it's good. It feels odd to me when I'm looking at this to feel like, okay, so you're selling me, let's say this is a $40 package. The thing that I really want, I have to wait, 6 months for. But in between there, you're just gonna give me some music. So really what I'm getting when I get the expansion pass is I'm getting something 6 months down the road. Because for me, I'm like, yeah, music and costumes is whatever. You're not giving it to me today.
Yeah.
I'm not going to play the game again in May just to see the costumes. So that's part of my thinking too. I'm like, it's weird when I look at it. It would be nice, for example, if they're like, in the first wave, there's like an extra story mission. Like one extra thing. Because then you could go back and just play that. Great. You get the music too. Great. In May, you get like one more, even if it's just related to like one character. It's like, hey, we added like 2 missions for this character in between the final release, just to give you like, come back in, do the story. And then September, you get the full thing. It's just weird seeing an expansion pass like this when I'm not getting extra story related content or character content. I'm getting music and costumes. It's
Which
odd.
is just weird that wasn't in the game. Like, they didn't even have
Yes.
it from the beginning and just have that there that you could just download.
Exactly.
With the music and costumes, and I don't know.
It's odd.
And I think, I don't remember specifically them saying this, but Ghost said this to me. He had said that he thought they said at one point that they weren't gonna do this, that like they weren't gonna do any additional content for Persona 3 Reload, and then it comes out like a month after the game's out, like, oh, we got an expansion pass now. Like, okay,
maybe somebody said it's popular, we gotta get something maybe more out of it. I don't know, you never know. I just think it's odd to get expansion pass content that isn't like, even if it's like a 1 hour mission, right? Like, and you get 1 hour another mission for like an hour. It's weird. To me, it is. Other people may just be like, yeah, this is great, cool, I'll get the expansion pass, I know what I'm waiting for, it's totally fine. Or they'll just wait until September, buy the expansion pass then, and then it's like, oh well, I'm just gonna get all this other content anyway. So I mean, there's ways of looking at it where it's like, okay, this isn't actually a big deal, just wait till September, buy it then, assuming the price isn't going up. And then it's just like, you're actually just buying you're actually just buying the DLC, really. So I don't know, it's still funky, like, looking at this. It's still a little bit funky for me, but who knows.
Yeah, as I said, I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of this.
Yeah.
I think this content should have just been in the game from the start, or if they couldn't, or if they wanted to release the game and like couldn't have it there from the start, like, it should have been a free update.
Yeah,
basically.
Totally.
Because Reload, again, is supposed to be like a remake definitive edition of Persona 3, and you didn't include all the content, which just annoys me. So.
Yeah. Okay, so then we have some more games. Like I said, like, some of these I think.
Yeah, this Souls.
Yep, it's a Souls-like
game here.
We have
which looks kind of cool. I mean, I'm
not
really a Souls-like fan, so I won't play it. But I like the art style. Looks cool. Looks fun. But there were points in the trailer. We don't need to go watch them. But like,
frame rate.
There were points in the trailer where it was pretty framey. Where I'm like,
yep.
Ooh, I don't know. Yeah,
I felt the same way. I felt the same way. I was like, this looks really framey. Little indie side scroll. This like there's
scroller like Metroidvania thing.
Yeah.
This looks, pretty cool if you're into those kinds of games, right? Like, there's Frostpunk.
Oh man, super interesting. Cool. Cool visual there.
Yeah,
Cool visual.
it's like a survival like city builder game, right?
Yep. Very cool. And then interesting. So we have, but yeah. Anyway, for me, look, there's like people that are going to be interested in these for sure. I just wasn't really. Nothing here
Yeah.
really screamed at me like, okay, I'm looking forward to this.
Yeah, no, me neither. I'm with you. I'm with you on that. This was. I did get through the whole thing, but nothing in it was particularly exciting to me.
Oh.
I may try Frostpunk because I think it's supposed to be on Game Pass. I think they announced that last time. So.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. So.
All right. Then I'm gonna jump us back over here.